Alright, let me save you some sanity. Zani is back, and a lot of people are asking, is she still worth it in 2026? The short answer? Yes. And I don't mean farming echoes, I mean committing your entire account to her. If you don't know who Zani is already, she's a Spectre Gauntlet hypercarry built around heavy attacks and a Berserker style gameplay loop. Basically, you plop your ultimate then spam attacks. Simple, clean, brain dead gameplay. Which is exactly why people think she's free to play friendly. Sadly, she's not. The problem nobody tells you is, Zani doesn't just scale off stats, she scales off her team. More precisely, she scales off Spectre Frazzle. This is the core of her entire kit. If enemies aren't affected by Frazzle, Zani literally cannot function at full power, because she needs it to generate her Ember stacks, which fuel her ultimate damage. And this is where things fall apart. In run a budget team being Zani, Spectre Rover, Verena, that does work, but here's the issue. Even with optimal quick swapping, you're still doing about 30% less damage than a basic premium rotation. So now, you need to decide if you want to play the game like a job, just to keep up with someone doing 10 times less effort. Think about that. Now, if you were to invest in Zani, he only cares about a few things. Applying Spectre Frazzle, applying Frazzle damage, reducing Spectre resistance, and stacking buffs like crit and attack. That's it. And when you look at the roster, you'll notice something very quickly. Phoebe is not optional. Phoebe does everything Zani wants. She applies Spectre Frazzle, amplifies it, reduces Spectre resistance. She's not just good, she's pretty much mandatory for Zani. If you don't have Phoebe, Zani is already missing a massive chunk of damage. However, she does have budget options alongside the premium ones. These being Phoebe, the best in slot, no other characters come close in comparison. Doorkeeper, the best support that gives good buffs and crit scaling. Spectre Rover, only good if you can quick swap, but is also the only other budget option for applying Spectre Frazzle. Verena is just the budget fallback for Shorekeeper. So with this in mind, it's pretty easy to decide what the budget and premium teams are. The best team being Zani, Phoebe and Shorekeeper, and the budget team being Zani, Rover and Verena. The gap between those two is massive. As I mentioned earlier, it's 30%. And to show you this, I'm going to compare them on screen. To give the budget team an advantage, we are going to use Quick Swap, and the premium team is going to do a basic rotation. As you can see, the budget team is doing 10 times more of the work just to barely keep up with the other team casually playing. Now imagine playing the budget team casually. Yeah, it's not even close. Now with the comparisons out of the way, let's talk about numbers for Zani and how much her premium options bring to the table. Because this is where it gets ridiculous, because now you can see how much Zani depends on premium investments to do damage. If you're pulling Phoebe alone, it's a 72% damage increase. Zani's signature weapon, 40%. Both of them together, 123%. Want to pull Phoebe's weapon? 144%. Let me say that again, 144%. Okay, that's not optimization, that's dependency for quality of life to make a character playable. And guess what? Even with the premium team and the latest patches, you're starting to be forced to use quick swap rotations just to barely keep up with the content due to the rampant HP inflation in the endgame mode. So what is my final verdict, and is Zani worth it in 2026? If you're free to play or a low spender, no, she's not worth it one bit. You'll be playing a weaker version of the character and working twice as hard for it. This is coming from someone that has Zani at S6. If you're willing to pull Phoebe and ideally invest further with signature weapons and now most likely character dupes, then yes, she becomes insanely strong. However, if you're new, you're just better off pulling the new characters. Zani isn't a bad character, she's just an expensive one disguised as a simple one. Or put another way, if you want Zani, be prepared to pull her and her friends while also buying them their favorite cars. Anyway, if you liked this video, don't forget to give me a like, comment and subscribe as it helps me grow. As always, have a good one.